Hello, Dr. Acheampong.
Good morning. Yes, Samson, I'm here. Yes.
Right.
I mean, the number of issues that he raises in that press statement, some of them around intimidation of his supporters. He talks about the party being hijacked by different people, including people that are literally, in positions of authority, but wield great influence in terms of the direction of the party. Some of these are assertions that many of us have heard, whether formally or informally, although of course it's difficult to prove or corroborate. But the fundamental point for me in terms of Alan leaving really is, what is his strategic game or intent? Is he wanting to contest and win as an independent candidate on his Movement for Change platform, or is he trying to become a kingmaker? In other words, force the election into a second round and then therefore become a junior coalition partner in some sort of government of national unity.
What do you see?
If you look at these two, and I'll support it with some data points, right? If it is the former, in terms of him trying to become or contest and win as an independent candidate, then he should forget about it, because the historical antecedents in Ghana with becoming president, the history does not support that. And breakaway parties historically have performed very abysmally or negligibly in our elections in the country. And I actually have two
history can be made.
History can always be changed. There's always the unknown, and then we can even say there's the known unknown. But in this particular context, and this is why I think the data and then what we're seeing is quite important, right? You need to look at two data sources, one from Afrobarometer and the actual election outturns. The Afrobarometer data, and this is from round 3 in 2005 all the way to round 9 round 9 in 2022, right? There is a question there that asks people about their intent to vote. And then we also have, when you look at the data on the election, the actual vote share. In fact, if you look at the data from Afrobarometer, from round 3 in 2005, all the way to that round 9, you almost see a cementing of the duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. So when people are asked the question, if a presidential election were held tomorrow, which party candidate would you vote for? Back in 2005, it was around 5% of the sample, and this is a nationally representative sample, that indicated that they would vote for any other party aside MPP and NDC. If you actually look at the data coming now all the way through, it's been coming down negligibly, and it's still around the 3 to sort of 4% mark. The second point, an important data point, is let's look at actually the actual vote shares of these third parties. And if you look at the actual vote share of the third parties vis-a-vis when we started this democratic exercise in 1992, they've actually been declining and be losing votes over the period. So between the NDC and the MPP, collectively, they have controlled about 97% of the actual vote share since 1992. And in some years, it dips. But the biggest year that we've ever seen a third party, make a big change was actually in the year 2000, when we had the Grand Coalition. And in that 2000 election, they were able to get just about 7% of that vote. But since that time, if you look at it, it's just been going down and down and down. So in essence, it's like Ghanaians have almost accepted this duopoly of the MPP and the NDC. And therefore, no single third party or candidate has not been able to secure more than 3% of the vote. And if you do the analysis again with the numbers and the data, to be able to force the election into a second round, and if that is the intent of Alan through his party, he needs to be able to get about 5% right, of the total, vote share. And the claims that then he makes about tapping into the middle class voters and all of that, yes, that then becomes quite important. So the middle class and then the youth vote is important if he wants to push the election into a second round, but it would not be enough for him to actually win the election.